Hi, welcome to my channel. This is my follow-up video to Stamp Wars 7. We received a stamp set from Catherine Pooler called Birds of a Feather. We were challenged to make two different projects in 1 hour's time. And this is the bookmark that I made. And I also made a card. And so we're going to be creating a card tonight using this stamp set. Again, it's called Birds of a Feather and it's by Catherine Pooler. Let's get started. The Birds of a Feather stamp set has a feather, the word love with a postage stamp, several little birds, a swirly swirl, some scripty font. It has some hearts and flowers and leaves and a lot to offer for all seasons. These are the two projects that I made during Stamp Wars. We were each to make a winter theme bookmark and a card using foil, which we stamp upon. And because I was the winner of Stamp Wars last week for Stamp Wars number 6, I was able to forego the restriction, which was you're not allowed to do any embossing. So with Stamp Wars, there's all kinds of twists and turns built in. They're called sabotages or restrictions. Just a lot of fun to compete against each other. And it's really cool to see how different people using the same stamp set can come up with such different projects. All right, let's get started on tonight's project. We're going to be creating a rainbow card. I have my stamp positioning tool and I have a variety of Catherine Pooler mini inks. And I'm using Rocking Red to start with, and then I'm going to switch to Grape Crush. So what I'm doing is going from the beginning of the rainbow to the end of the rainbow because I want to make sure that there's enough space on my card panel that I will get all the colors of the rainbow to fit. So this is just a little hint if you're trying to position things in a way that you have just an even looking like symmetry. Just getting my panel situated here so that I can stamp off a little bit. I'm going to speed things up just in the interest of time, but I will tell you what colors I'm using along the way. This is Grape Crush, and then I'm going to go in with Orange Twist. Okay, so you see this one I just had to stamp twice, and sometimes I stamp once, sometimes I stamp twice. I recently re-inked my ink pads, so they're nice and juicy. So you see I'm cleaning in between each color, but Catherine Pooler inks are great in that they don't have as much transference as some other inks. So I'm going to, for example, jump in with Lime Ricky, and none of that purple is going to, remain on the stamp because I cleaned it. But also, if I was doing like a smaller thing, like a flower or something, and I wanted to dip directly from the purple, which is Grape Crush, to Lime Ricky, I'm not going to have transference of color. So that's really a nice benefit of Catherine Pooler inks. There's so many good benefits to these inks. They're a dye-based ink, so they dry really quick, and they do have water reactive properties. Next, I'm going to go in with Limoncello, and I'm overlapping it slightly over top of the Lime Ricky feather. Stamping that twice. If you're not familiar with Stamp Wars, I would encourage you to check out Nancy Stamp's YouTube channel. This is our 7th Stamp Wars. We have another one coming up in January on the 16th. And what's cool about it is people that watch have the possibility of winning prizes. So, for example, I have a prize that I'm going to give away to one lucky winner who is a resident of the US. By the way, this color is called Orange Twist. My contest would be open to those of you who actually comment on the video. If you're new to my channel, I would encourage you to subscribe, and I would encourage everybody to give a thumbs up. This is greatly appreciated. If you would like to enter, just leave a comment below. And I will pick a winner sometime after the holidays. I think Nancy said we're all going to regroup again after the holidays and pick our winners. Something Borrowed is my next color, and then I still have space after using Something Borrowed, so I go in with Aquatini. But I think this is looking really great. I really love the vibrant colors of these inks and how they just really pop, especially when stamped on white. They are very, very striking. This turns out to be a pretty cute card. It's something that you could really produce quickly. It doesn't take very long to create this. My Aquatini ink pad, I recently re-inked, so it's really super juicy, and I think I have to actually try to get some of that ink out of there, which I hate to do that because you purchase the re-inkers and then you accidentally put too much ink in the ink pad. But it's just something that I felt was needed because I didn't want to ruin my entire card with an overly saturated feather. What I should have done was just colored the entire panel here. You can kind of see me off page a little bit, off the camera a little bit doing that. I should have just colored the entire panel from one end to the other. Then I would have had a perfectly stamped Aquatini panel. Would have been just like my own personal Aquatini paper. But anyways, so I accidentally stamped over Something Borrowed. So, okay, whoops. I'm going in and adding Something Borrowed to the feather. Now I'm moving the feather. It's important that you move the feather after each color. And I'm going in with Aquatini. I like how this turned out. I think they're spaced pretty decently apart from each other. And it's an easy card to mass produce. It's something that I could easily create a bunch of birthday cards in one setting, or thinking of you, or congratulations, or get well soon, depending on what sentiment that you use. Sentiment. All right, now we will go ahead and pick out a sentiment. The Birds of a Feather has two words. It says, one word says create and the other word says inspire. So I'm going to pick inspire. I'm going to stamp it in black ink, and I'm going to position it just overlapping the yellow, which is limoncello, and the green, which is lime rookie. And then I have a couple birds that I'm going to put on there. You can have the birds so that they're actually flying out of the feathers. So that's a cool effect. There's so many different ways you can use this stamp set. I mean, I've just begun to scratch the surface with my video, but I wanted to get my video up so that you could have a chance to enter the contest and be eligible to win a prize. Make sure you check out Ryan over at Glitter Grunge Greetings and Stacy Valentine over at SNR Creations from the Heart, and Nancy, of course, over at Nancy Stamp, and Chow at Create with Chow. They're all making projects with this stamp set and having giveaways on their channels. Nancy has the actual stamp set, Birds of a Feather, so her winner will receive that. And then my winner will receive something that I pick from my basically prize vault. And then Stacy will pick something, and then Ryan will pick something, and Chow too. So it's a lot of fun. We love to share and we love to get ideas from each other. We have a group on Facebook that's called FSC. And if you want to join FSC, I will have it listed below in my description box, along with the description and name of this stamp set and links and whatnot where you can get it. So I'm going to grab my splat box or my splatter box because this is looking pretty good, I think. But I think it needs just a little bit of grunge just to make it look a little bit not so stark. I mean, clean and simple is great, but there's something to be said for splatter. I'm a fan of splatter. How about you? So I just have some acrylic paint, Liquitex, just, something I picked up at a big box store. And I just put a little bit of that on my acrylic block. I have a fine tipped paintbrush and I'm just going to water that down. I watered it down with my Distress sprayer. And now I am flicking some black specks on the panel. You don't have to put a whole lot. Okay, so I felt like there was something more that was needed. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a mat. And my mat, I'm using this square from the stamp set, which reminds me sort of like zigzag, a diagonal. I forget what this pattern's called. It's not gingham, it's cross thatching, maybe that's what it's called. I don't know. But I'm going in with the same exact colors that I used on the feathers and creating a background panel or mat that will sort of be peekaboo, peeking out from behind this card panel that I made. So I don't have to stamp the entire thing. I just need to stamp around the edges, which is what I'm going to do. Again, that's Rocking Red, Orange Twist, Lemoncello, Lime Ricky, Something Borrowed, Aquatini, and Grape Crush. This one is Aquatini, which is a real cool, like greenish blue. Something Borrowed, which is royal blue. I'm getting to know my Catherine Polar ink colors, the names of the colors, so I'm using them more and more. Grape Crush. I like them. I think they're super vibrant, super saturated, and a variety of applications. This is Rocking Red. You can ink smush with them if you wanted to create your background, but I don't know. I was just drawn to this pattern and I wanted to create a mat with it. All right, so I've got the Something Borrowed. No, that's the Grape Crush. This is a pretty cool background. I could have filled it the whole way in and created a whole other card panel with it, almost a quilt looking type background, which is really folksy and right up my alley. All right, I'm just going to trim this down so that it fits, and then that's it, you guys. I made one card for the video tonight. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that this inspires you, and I hope that you'll check out Stamp Wars. Don't forget to leave a comment, and don't forget to give a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you would subscribe. That would be awesome. I would like to thank Catherine Pooler for sponsoring Stamp Wars, and also for Erica and Catherine for joining us live during our Stamp Wars 7. Mark your calendar, folks. The next Stamp Wars is the 16th of January. But on the 9th of January, we're going to be getting together again with Catherine Pooler for a Stamp With Me session. If you'd like more information, check it out on the FSC. Thanks and have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.